It's a lovely evening and you're watching Movie Television, your award-winning channel of choice. My name is Mwale with the news. The headlines: stakeholders call for peaceful Chilanga elections. Pupils abuse worries Teaching Council of Zambia. And in sports, New Moses Swallows in historic win, Ezesco maintains leadership. And now the news in detail. With a day remaining before voters in Chilanga constituency go to the polls, stakeholders have continued calling for free and fair elections. Movement for National Transformation President Daniel Simunza has urged political parties to help in maintaining a good atmosphere during the elections. Pastor Simunza says police have done their part by providing security and allowing fair campaigns, and it is now the responsibility of all stakeholders to uphold peace.
In less than 2 days' time, voters in Chilanga constituents will flock to various polling stations to vote for a new member of parliament. The new MP is expected to govern the area for the remaining 3 years before the 2021 general elections. The area has remained peaceful and conducive ahead of Tuesday's polls, despite numerous threats of violence that were earlier issued, among which was from prominent political players such as UPND Vice President Geoffrey Mwamba's Panga for Panga statement.
Even the Bible says, defend yourself when it is necessary. So I want to appeal to you Zambians, not only in Chilanga, when you're attacked, defend yourself.
However, stakeholders have continued calling for free and fair elections. Movement for National Transformation President Daniel Simunza says there's need for the ECZ to handle the elections as expected.
We want to commend the police, I think, for being civil and professional in the way they have handled the by-election in Chilanga. As Movement for National Transformation, we have a first world policy for police system and service in the country. So we want to encourage the police to remain professional as they've been, and also to do the work in Chilanga without any undue influence on the general public. We want everybody to maintain a composure that is worthy of our democracy in this country as we go towards the by-election in Chilanga. Our democracy must now mature to a point where we begin to exercise our democratic right and know that your vote must not be bought by anyone. We must begin to respect our vote as citizens, where we vote for a person or a candidate that will deliver, not the propaganda and all these things that are taking place. We need candidates that will deliver the development that we are looking.
United for Better Zambia President Hector Sondo echoes similar sentiments.
We did want to see that police officers in plain clothes are deployed in Chilanga so that it will be easier for people to access the places where they are supposed to do their votings. And what we want to see to Electoral Commission of Zambia at this moment, we don't want to see Electoral Commission of Zambia that is sleeping. It is time for them now to wake up, because when you look at this time, we have so many by-elections even to come. And the elections are every day, so we need to see them educating the people of Zambia the importance of going to vote and even to participate in election.
Meanwhile, other stakeholders, including the media, have started getting accredited.
The good part is I have the list, yes. So this is why I need the list. Yeah. Once I get the list, anyone can come at any time. I'm still able to attend to them because I have the list and the letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. So far, have done a tremendous job. People are accrediting and there's no confusion. We want to see this professionalism continue even on the date of elections. No sacred cows who abrogate the law, and the police must just do their job.
The Chilanga seat fell vacant after the Lusaka High Court convicted and sentenced then UPND Member of Parliament Keith Mkata to death by hanging for the murder of his security guard. The court, however, acquitted his lover Shameni Msonda, who was later adopted by the UPND as its candidate in the by-elections. Other candidates contesting the seat are UPPZ Francis Kope, PF's Maria Langa, and NAREP's Pride Mazabuka. Chilanga constituents has 49,614 total number of registered voters. Innocent Piri reporting for Movie TV News in the capital, Lusaka.
Thank you, Innocent, for that report. And now 2 people have sustained injuries after being run over by Senior Chief Mununga of the Shilla-speaking people of Lapula Province. The injured are Joe Walia, a supporter of Forum for Democracy and Development, and a journalist, Frida Mwaka of Lapula Radio, who were riding a motorbike. Surprisingly, the chief did not stop at the accident scene. The injured have been admitted to Chienge District Hospital.
This was how Mununga village came to a still after the Forum for Democracy and Development FDD campaign reached its peak. But these campaigns were partially disrupted when Chief Mununga of the Sila people hit a motorbike of the FDD supporter, leading to the driver of the motorbike Joel Walia and a reporter from Lapula Radio, Frida Mwaka, being injured. Shame enough, the chief didn't even bother to stop the vehicle, continued to move and overtook the motorcade of the FDD.
So when we're going, we're on number 2nd from the last one. So as we were going, the motorbike stopped. So when the guys, we tried to check what was happening, the chief was coming. He saw us and then he hit us. Yes, that's how I thought. And the other guy was who was riding the motorbike was pushed again also.
The 2 were later taken to Chienge District Hospital. While they were admitted, area member of parliament Given Katuta visited them. According to X-ray reports, both are tissue injuries. Lately, residents of Mununga Ward have been complaining over the chief's involvement in politics, as he is accused of campaigning for the PF candidate, Lawrence Kaseya, who happens to be his nephew. Residents say the chief is also going around in markets, tarnishing the image of the FDD, who are their greatest rival in this by-election. Oscar Piri, reporting for Movie TV News in Chienge, Lapula Province.
In other news, Kalomo Central Member of Parliament Harry Kamboni says it is disheartening that Zambians are not benefiting from mining companies. Mr. Kamboni says foreign investors are making huge profits from the mines, yet the country remains poor. Meanwhile, Mr. Kamboni has urged the electorate in Chilanga constituency to consider voting for UPND candidate Charmaine Musonda. He was speaking at a media briefing in Osaka.
We will not have chipante policies. Let me give you an example under mining. In Botswana, for $1 mining that is done, money they get, the country gets 85 cents. And the foreign company gets 15 cents. That makes a lot of sense. In Australia, for every $1 money is made from their mining, Australia gets 75%. And 25 cents is gotten by the foreign country. In Zambia here, for every $1 we get from the mining, Zambia gets 5 cents and the foreign country gets 95 cents. So who is the owner of these mines? It's not the Zambians. And that's why I'm saying, for UPND, when we take over leadership, our policies will be consistent. And we shall make sure that these mines benefit the Zambians. The same on land policy. When we come to land policy, the Chinese have bought a very big chunk of land from this country. If we're not very careful, this whole country will be run by foreigners. We shall be slaves in our own country. And so, for us as UPND, we shall make sure that priority on land issues is given to the Zambians. This land belongs to the Zambians and it shall go to the Zambians. We have now want to dupe the farmers. And we have chiefs, we have people in Chilanga who have land without title deeds. They want to take all the land so that they will be the one in charge and then they can auction it. And this is why the Chilanga people must be aware about voting for PF. They must know if they vote, they are endorsing these very bad policies for PF. And therefore, they must vote for Charmaine under UPND and at this time. And that's the whole purpose of it. They want to serve the people, and that's the system, those are the systems that they use. So it's completely wrong. Under the normal governance system, that should not happen. So we expect now the Electoral Commission to stop that. But when they, as usual, they turn a blind eye. So it's wrong completely. You go and report to ECs and nothing happens. Nothing. Look at the last elections we had. What happened? You see? Those who are supposed to protect are in the forefront of whatever. So we are working under very difficult conditions.
The Teaching Council of Zambia, TCZ, says it is disturbed by media reports of teachers abusing pupils. TCZ spokesperson Ngoza Malonga says the case of a teacher in Chivombo arrested for allegedly sodomizing 15 pupils is worrisome. She has condemned the teacher's act in the strongest terms, adding that the council will not tolerate such behavior. Ms. Malonga has disclosed that the council's investigations have revealed that the teacher identified as Brian Walia, who is in police custody, was not registered with the council. She says any teacher involved in such acts will face deregistration.
That this particular teacher chose to, to abuse the children instead of protecting them. So of course, we'd like to take this opportunity to actually inform the teachers out there across the country to say they should all get acquainted with the documents in question. That is the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013 and the Code of Ethics, which spill out the kind of behavior that we expect out of our teachers. And of course, to state that, if you're found wanting, of course, we shall not spare you. Would like to also state that the Teaching Council of Zambia staff, that's the inspections unit, have been on the ground and did on investigations on the same matter. And of course, the findings were that the teacher in question is not even registered with the council, and of course this should simply go out to, as a timely warning to all teachers out there to say get registered. We also have another case in Nyimba, of a teacher who defiled a 10-year-old pupil, and of course we are still following up on the matter. And on the other end, we have another case in Mbala of a teacher who was, of course, found having carnal knowledge with a grade 6 pupil. So all these issues actually amount to, misconduct, and the council will not hesitate to deregister such a teacher. And of course, the deregistration is a serious implication because it means you cannot interface with the learners. They are a danger to society. So we cannot have such teachers, existing in our schools.
Patrols for Economic Progress, PEP, has described the 2017 Financial Intelligence Center Trends Report as extremely shocking. Party President Sean Tembo says the report is testimony enough that the nation has deteriorated into lawlessness among the rich and powerful who are being protected by corrupt senior officials within the PF and its government. Mr. Tembo further notes that there is very little progress with regards to the 425 cases that the Financial Intelligence Center referred to various law enforcement agencies. He says failure by the law enforcement agencies to act on cases referred to them by the Financial Intelligence Center is evidence enough that the top leadership of these agencies is compromised.
As Patriots for Economic Progress, we have basically completed our review of the Financial Intelligence Center Trends Report for 2017. And I must mention that it makes very sad reading because there are a lot of incidents of corruption and money laundering. There are very clear incidents. And what makes it even sadder is the fact that out of the 425 cases that the Financial Intelligence Center referred to various law enforcement agencies that include Zambia Police, Anti-Corruption Commission, and Drug Enforcement Commission, very few of those cases have actually been pursued. And which brings us to our core as Patriots for Economic Progress, that the Financial Intelligence Center needs to have prosecutorial powers so that they can be able to prosecute these offenders and do not have to refer them to other law enforcement agencies for prosecution. Our further observation is that the statement issued by the Attorney General that he's going to convene an interagency task force to fight corruption and money laundering is, in our view, something that needs to be dismissed with the contempt that it basically deserves, because the biggest beneficiary of corruption in this country is the PF and this government. So there's no way that the PF can fight its own corruption.
In other news, meanwhile, Mr. Tembo will be at the Constitutional Court of Zambia filing a lawsuit seeking judicial interpretation of the legality of the land gift of President Edgar Lungu. Mr. Tembo contends that a company which President Lungu's government has been awarding multi-billion Kwacha road construction projects gave him the land. This is contained in a media statement made available to Movie TV News. Our headlines at this hour: stakeholders call for peaceful Chilanga elections, People's Abuse Warriors Teaching Council of Zambia, and in sports, New Moses Swallows in historic win, Ezesco United maintains leadership. We'll take a break, or more news when we come back.
Thirsty Juices, a family of flavors.
We are grateful that you are still watching Movie TV, your award-winning channel of choice. This is the main news. Musicians in the country have been challenged to play a leading role in protecting national values and principles. African Directions Director Mark Chilongo has since challenged artists in the country to start composing songs that will help sensitize citizens on the importance of national values. He was commenting on the World Health Organization report that Zambian women are topping in beer consumption on the continent. He was speaking in an interview with Movie TV News.
The recent revelations by the World Health Organization on high beer consumption among Zambian women has continued receiving reactions from concerned stakeholders. Patriotic Front Bwana Mkubwa lawmaker Jonas Chanda says the WHO report is questionable despite praising government for coming up with beer consumption control measures.
No doubt, that's why I think we have a challenge. You know, at Parliament I belong in the Parliamentary Committee on Health. So talking about WHO report, it's not so much about the women, it's actually about all of us. That's what I want to emphasize. Alcohol is a danger, not only to women, to everyone. You know, yeah, the young people, the elderly people. Yeah, so that one is a danger to everyone, and it's actually one of the major causes of what we are calling non-communicable diseases. So alcohol is a major cause of that. So whether you talk about mental illness, if you go to China, probably over 60 to 80% of the cases at China are alcohol related.
However, African Directions, a non-governmental organization, says the report should not be ignored but a strong signal for Zambians.
And in terms of values and principles as a country, this actually shows how much our morals have decayed. And how we as artists actually are supposed to play a pivotal role in ensuring that we try and engage our communities to begin to look at life differently.
Organization Director Maki Chilongo maintains that the vice needs the participation of every Zambian.
let's look at the issue of alcohol consumption, and also let's look at the issue of patronage of bars. I think the laws in terms of access to bars and all that, they should be stiffened. The time when the bars are opened, we should be able to stiffen such laws, because we cannot allow a country where each one of us will wake up today in the morning and the next thing they'll hear is a sound of music, a bar has opened, and they're able to sell alcohol at any given time. We can't live like that.
And knowing the power of music, Mr. Chilongo says musicians should begin composing songs that will help sensitize people on the national values, principles and morals.
Secondly, we would like to appeal to many government ministries, especially the Ministry of Health, that they should be able to look at how powerful the arts have played, especially theatrical artists, in terms of reducing the scourge of HIV. So we play a very big role in ensuring that we engage with communities and we begin to make communities make informed decisions. So we appeal that they actually tap into this artistic form and also ensure that they try and utilize the arts in engaging our communities.
Piri reporting for Movie TV News, the capital, Lusaka.
In other news, the forestry department in Pulungu has impounded a truck laden with timber destined for Nakonde district. The truck belongs to a Pulungu businessman who claimed to have been hired. Other people on board the suspected truck, who are suspected to be Tanzanian nationals, bolted from the scene. And opposition UPND sympathizer Mebin Mwansa has blamed the system, saying the police did not follow protocol when dispatching the timber. In other news, construction of Kiabankaka toll gate at a cost of 5 million kwacha in Kalumbila district of Northwestern Province has advanced. Road Development Agency RDA regional manager Ndabani Manda has disclosed that the project has reached 98%. Mr. Ndawa says all major works have been completed, and Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Nathio Muukwano has inspected the facility and is impressed. Details in the following report.
The construction of Kiabanka toll gate at a cost of 5 million kwacha in Karumbira district of Northwestern Province is progressing well. The facility has reached an advanced stage with 98% works done so far. The toll gate under construction is located 25 kilometers from Sorwest Central Business Center in Chief Mmena's area. Ndabani Banda is Road Development Agency RDA Regional Manager for Northwestern Province.
We are 98% done. We only remain with some snags, then we should be able to hand over to National Fund Agency.
And Northwestern Province Minister Nathaniel Muukwano, who toured the facility, is impressed with the works done so far.
This is an in-house project by the Road Development Agency, which is aimed at raising revenue, which will be channeled towards the improvement of the road sector in the country. We did acknowledge that at the inception of this particular idea, we were spending in excess of 18 million kwacha to do one toll gate or one toll plaza. But this one that has been done in-house is costing us around 5 million kwacha, which is a significant or tremendous reduction in cost.
The provincial minister assured people in the province that the facility will help government improve the roads in the country.
Doing our level best so that with the resources at our disposal, we are going to generate more resources that are going to help us to reinvest in the road sector. 800 vehicles, smaller cars, pass through this particular point from 07 hours to 17 hours as per survey that was conducted a fortnight ago. And in excess of 150 heavy-duty vehicles also do pass through here. So in total, we are speaking of maybe about 1,500, because that is the time that is stipulated. But there was also a time beyond 17 hours to the following day in the morning. There's still quite a lot of traffic that still flows. So I think putting the figures at 1,500 will not be an exaggeration. So this will certainly generate a lot of revenue for the government, and the revenues of which we want to assure the public that will go into the road sector.
The Kiavanka Kato gate under construction, once completed, it is expected to be raising 1 million kwacha per month. Krivach Tuta, reporting in Karumbira District, Northwestern Province.
That was Northwestern Province Minister Nathaniel Mubukwanu, not Permanent Secretary, as earlier read. In other news, Justin Kawe Ward 22 Councillor Ted Mwale says the rehabilitation of cooperative markets is a gift from the Chinese government. Mr. Mwale has maintained that cooperative markets have not been sold. Mr. Mwale was speaking during a church service at the Mandevu Holy Family Catholic Church.
Accused as having sold the market. We have to move on about
Justin Kawe Ward 22 Councillor Teddy Mwale pleading with church congregants at Mandevu Holy Cross Parish to understand that the Mandevu cooperative market has not been sold. This comes after the traders at the cooperative market opposed the decision by the council to take over the market and selling it to a Chinese firm. The area councillor claims that the market was not auctioned to a Chinese firm, but the Chinese government offered to improve the market in a form of a gift.
Markets already paid for. Not even the government of Zambia paying for that. It's a gift to us. Now, look at my Chongwai. What is our body to pay up Zambia, Lusaka province? What is to pay up our markets here? Out of the whole province, we have Matero and we have Mandevu market.
Mr. Mwale asked for forgiveness on behalf of the President, the area Member of Parliament, and himself.
Then I'm not the type of a councillor. I want to transform this place for the benefit of all of us. We think ahead of our future children to come. We have ended, we have walked the race. What about those coming ahead of us?
Will the traders return their trading places once the development is brought? That remains unanswered by the local authorities. Bright Tembo, Movie TV News in Lusaka.
You're watching the main news on Movie TV, your award-winning channel of choice. We take a break. We'll have more news when we come back.
Situated along the shores of Lake Kariba in Siavonga, Freshview Hotels, a perfect retreat from the city. At Freshview Hotels, you get an experience just like home. Get away from the hustle and bustle of town and come to a place you can relax, inspire, and create. With 5-star accommodation that's second to none, Freshview Hotels is just the right place to be. You can choose a theme of your preference with the view of your fancy. Take for example, the honeymoon suite. These chefs at our restaurant prepare delicious local, Indian and other international dishes. After a long hectic day, you can spoil yourself to a relaxing spa. You can also work out in our professional gym with an elite instructor always on site. For your weddings and party venues, come to Freshview Hotels. You are promised to have an experience of a lifetime. We provide the largest conference space in Siavonga at our boathouse, and we also have many other conference rooms for workshops and seminars. Finding us is so easy. Contact us now on 0972 012 591 or 0964 012 591 or 0955 012 591. Freshview Hotel. See the view, experience the service, be at home.
Our headlines at this hour: stakeholders call for peaceful Chilanga elections. Pupils abuse Worries Teaching Council of Zambia. And in sports, New Monza Swallows in historic win, ZESCO maintains leadership. And now in sports, Zambia Federation of Universities and Colleges of Sports has urged athletes representing Zambia at this year's Kuska Games to put up their best. Federation General Secretary Albert Lwendo says this is an opportunity for athletes to excel. Lwendo has revealed that a total of 106 students from universities and colleges will enter camp before traveling to Botswana for the Games.
Right now we are preparing for Kuska Games. We have selected 178 students from different institutions of learning, and these students are expected to be in camp. In short, what I'm saying is that the camping will start on the 9th and it will go on up to 16th. Then on the 16th we are going to leave for Botswana. We are expecting athletes to do their best. We as an executive, we are going to lay the foundation and do everything. Okay, so we expect a lot of commitment from our athletes so that we can reap the gold medals. We are sending 8 teams to Botswana, which includes basketball for ladies and gents, football ladies and gents, volleyball ladies and gents, rugby sevens, and athletics. So we expect better performance from the selected students. I also like to thank the institutions of higher learning that have sponsored their students for this event.
In other sports news, 4 wins and 1 draw characterized the first week 15 matches played yesterday at surprise of all was New Monza Swallows, who recorded a historic win via a 2-1 victory against Magnificent Cow Warriors at Luengu International Complex in Monze. Alex Valencia Mioba and playmaker Ray Mutale's goal were enough for the financial hit Swallows to celebrate their first win of the season at home. In Dola, Butcon stability under Tenants Chamber seems to be working well after they showed signs of recovery from a midweek loss away from Kana with a 2-1 victory at the hands of visiting Brave Nchanga Rangers. Chris Kaundas and Kwazi are flying high at high speed. This time they put aside National Assembly via a 3-1 thrashing. In Solezi, there was a less recovery in the Lumwana vs Quito United match from their midweek losses as both sides shared the spoils, 1-0. In Kitwe, match abandoned at the death from the owner Janza coached Red Arrows in protest of the 3rd goal still left in Kana carry the day with a 2-3 victory. Meanwhile, pace setter ZESCO United still maintained their leadership standing on the log thanks to a Jesse Were goal in the 60th minute against Nakambala Leopards. This was in the first week 15 played at Leopards at Lev Mwanawasa Stadium in Dola. ZESCO's win means the Green Buffaloes still maintains their 2nd place status despite their narrow victory against NAPSA Stars, courtesy of You Remember Panda Go. Meanwhile, Green Buffaloes beat Forest Rangers 1-0. Tanzanian co-joint twins Maria and Consolata Mwakikuti have died at the age of 21 after suffering respiratory complications at a local hospital. The women, who were joined from the navel downwards and shared organs like the liver and lungs, had 2 hearts and separate heads and arms. They were admitted to a hospital in December due to issues relating to heart disease, but died on Saturday. The twins were popular in Tanzania, and the news has caused sadness countrywide. Tanzanian President John Magufuli tweeted that he was saddened by their death, adding that Consolata and Maria had dreamed of saving the nation. In an interview with the BBC last year, the twins said that after they had completed their university education, they wanted to become teachers. And finally, cattle thieves have killed more than 20 people in Nigeria's northern state of Zamfara. Officials say the thieves arrived in the village of Zonaka on motorbikes, shooting at people and setting fire on their homes. Clashes between vigilantes and cattle rustlers in Zamfara have intensified in recent months. Violence relating to cattle have been going on for years in Nigeria, even longer than the northern Islamist insurgency and southern oil militancy. Well, that international story brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, we take a look at the headlines. Stakeholders call for peaceful Chilanga elections. Pupils Abuse Worries Teaching Council of Zambia. And in sports, New Moses Swallows in historic win as Zesco maintains leadership. Well, that's what we could package for you at this hour. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Bruce Mwale. Good evening.